No si abo apem ade shemama ye mamu nyina adwo ema mu akwaba eba United Television so ye ka se bo asemu fo so no so de ama efi oman mu ana fama hodo bi so na bra so se do hwe ba kwa de enu ye de eson mo ye obeka jan ship house ewo enkran uko DSTV obenya yen our channel 360 so na Facebook and social media handles ahodo ni nyina no ye ka se bo ye etwegu ye wase da bia monka ye ho na ye fama special ice nsuo so muso ya sene afa ka se bo ye ho ka special drink nso afa ka ni bi this way chocolate drink and the coffee drink this way 1 2 3 this way non-dirty cream wo nyina aka ho na kasebo yo mafa ho eka best point is say wo mo so ombo boa bi best assurance need fufu need abakwan wo nyina boa ma ye de kasebo yi abremo na de bedi mu akotine bi ene se mampani na na dan kwaku de atudwa HM central for adwuma hodo aye no kwasem na so bi atoto na sisanse ye boa amawia sakonani
amampanyi koyansema wo kan so be magana aye de aya kono e de ama central for
na donko amra se bedwa na de kokobo ma omensa na hene a ya pa no se wono ne hene odi wurawura omesi kasem tutuem no wantwe ne ho avete no obi no se
aban ada 100 million domestic and regional tourism program bi edi
na ye la polyclinic nso a mane boy saka na Salagina hospital no e ka me se atwentwen ne na se pa nyade a e ko na nim na nchechemu bi aba na nchechemu no ho na de baaye ye de ho nsam ebeso mu
GIPC adwumeko no aye nhyiamudie bi e de afakua ene ehonsam eho
ensemi kan na de bra mu se kasebo akenkanfo a yeso mu na nwumere eye me Agya Kwabena minimini aba
obahima Afia chesi
Afia kasebo ne mu nsam nie ye ma pani his excellency na nado dan kwakufo ado da tudwa echirem se wo men yo man ye betuma kasa ka mamika bi ene da obadwumeko ahodo no wo mo badwuma pa de abo man puntu ene ne kankro na se koba se ebia bibi ikoso na se aman no etu na mo bi de fom dwumedi ahodo di ho a na no nkyere se bia wo mo kasa anaso mu titi obi fa ho de so na mo no emra ne hyehye no ese etumi edi ye adwuma esansa na betumi aboa mamka bi ene kyere wayo na me kyere madwene no ebetumi akodanim
na Ghana mampanyi na nado danko akufuado ekasa ewo abibiman empenifo nsentwofo nhyiemu ekoso ewo nkra no ase eno mampanyi si ewiase afa na nyina no nsentwofo eyomo adwuma na so ba Ghana hase na sesentwo ni bi eka asem anase wotwere bibi na se enkoye na obi ekoka ho asema eno enkyese etata nsentwofo anase ye ka nsentwofo kasaboa ehwomoyem mampanyi akufu adose wontena se enhwe ema nsentwo ni bi enko ahonyehiem ebra wo ye n'adwuma da na bekoso atansentwofo echi ahwe ama embra ene atentini na afezusentwofo fa hodi eye media freedom aye adwuma wo Ghana.
There seems to be an emerging narrative which is being proffered by some in Ghana that critiquing the work of a journalist constitutes an attack on media freedom. That certainly cannot be described as an attack on media freedom. Having the freedom to criticize and oppose should also mean that the media is ready to accept and work with criticisms of its work by the citizenry or officialdom. That, for me, is one of the surest ways of improving the public discourse of our respective countries, and we should all strive towards realizing this. This conference should also seek to address the phenomena of misinformation campaigns and fake news, which sometimes, unfortunately, are propagated by some in the media. The tendency to report on only one side of a story and pass judgment on it without wanting to learn or give a fair amount of reportage to the other side stifles the truth. The media should only be concerned about reporting the facts and should not lend themselves to being bought or being used to destroy the reputation of others. The government I lead remains committed to empowering the citizen, media, and civil society so we can all play our roles in realizing our vision of building a progressive and prosperous Ghana, a Ghana beyond aid. As President of Ghana, I assure you that the Ghanaian people will continue to exercise their right to free expression to the very end because of their determination to build a free, open society with accountable governance, no matter the cost.
Omampanyi na nado danko akufuado asema wode etudwa ene se one na ban behye se Ghana bebe bia eha bambo ewo ha na sumbie so ha ede man ene omanfo nyina ne titu nde obofo se de be ya obetumi aye adwuma.
I'm grateful to the African Federation of Journalists and the Ghana Journalists Association for the invitation to open this year's African Journalist Leaders Conference, which is being held in our vibrant capital city of Accra. We are indeed proud to host this year's event, and those of you who come from beyond our shores are welcome amongst the most hospitable people on the continent. The decision to select Ghana as this year's host is because of, and I quote, the conducive environment for media practice generally, and particularly for her impressive ranking, second in Africa on the latest World Press Freedom Index, unquote. Our aim is to be number one on the continent, and we will work hard to ensure we attain this. As we gather in Accra for this Leaders Conference, it is still disheartening to note that though proven to be a catalyst in spurring the advancement of societies in the 21st century, we still have several countries that frown on or even criminalize free speech. On a day like this, it is also important to consider some of the emerging challenges to media freedom. One of them is what constitutes an attack on media freedom. It cannot be right, no matter where in the world the journalists are physically attacked or prevented from doing their work. Once that happens, it is an attack on media freedom, and it must be roundly condemned by all. As George Orwell rightly puts it, and I quote, freedom of the press, if it means anything at all, means the freedom to criticize and oppose, unquote. However, there seems to be an emerging narrative which is being proffered by some in Ghana that critiquing the work of a journalist constitutes an attack on media freedom. That certainly cannot be described as an attack on media freedom. Having the freedom to criticize and oppose should also mean that the media is ready to accept and work with criticisms of its work by the citizenry or officialdom. That, for me, is one of the surest ways of improving the public discourse of our respective countries, and we should all strive towards realizing this. This conference should also seek to address the phenomena of misinformation campaigns and fake news, which sometimes, unfortunately, are propagated by some in the media. The tendency to report on only one side of a story and pass judgment on it without wanting to learn or give a fair amount of reportage to the other side stifles the truth. The media should only be concerned about reporting the facts and should not lend themselves to being bought or being used to destroy the reputation of others. The media has immeasurable power to build up the confidence and values of our societies and their institutions, and therefore ought to be assisted in discharging their duties at all times. Ladies and gentlemen, the government I lead remains committed to empowering the citizen, media, and civil society so we can all play our roles in realizing our vision of building a progressive and prosperous Ghana, a Ghana beyond aid. As President of Ghana, I assure you that the Ghanaian people will continue to exercise their right to free expression to the very end because of their determination to build a free, open society with accountable governance, no matter the cost.
Borgatanga Central Masibejani Unyanfo Mr. Mufancha Mekakra Borgatanga Central Masibejani that to Jechim say, na mbe hia say no manimu ya no pani a wono na mapani yi ne say womna no mahwe akiri say so afa bi de akiri e wo skasama so ye no wonhwe na adwumaku afa no ye Blaster Brokerage Company adwumaku no wonhwe so obeyi de afiri hokora sanse sa adwumaku bi a wo mo na ehwe e de aboa se de be ye a se kobase bi o man koje bisia o ba bi a animanimu ya no won behwe na bi o betu abanfo se busia akokogye fafa wura ha na sa adwumaku no esikasam to ye ho adwuma no mo ye ntise kobase osankoye o man sa na hena be de akira e bia na adwuma na oba be ye no ebe boa na adwuma na se conflict of interest eta ka ho asem no ebe bam ti so mpene ho asem a won twe no wane se du vetin a wɔn no will be kapa.
Ebra na onimonyafo Isaac Adongo ene sentrofo ekasa no ene osi Dr. Charles Edubuahin a omampanyi ekufu ado aboni din se wosoafo abedi akire a obahwe omansi kasam so no send company no wantwe ne ho amfanfi Black Stars brokerage ni mu a enya de se obebo ahwe amyagye no atum e wo vetting committee mpenifo anim okire mu wose Dr. Edubuahin dwumedi a wodi no se agye ne tum se wosoafo hwe sikasam so abedi akire a ene omantutu ye beko atia eye conflict of interest no bi eno nti no won preso ne empreso wochina na obetwe krata po edi akwachira jipinifo enchen si enye nhwemu emfanfa ne nsem eho.
And so Ken Oforiatta as the Minister for Finance and Charles Edubuahin, who until recently when the Minister for Finance returned from his sick leave, was the President's representative at the Ministry of Finance and has been nominated as a Minister of State at the office of the Ministry of Finance, has his company as one of the transaction advisors. Black Star Brokerage is a company owned by Charles Edubuahin. Data Bank is a company owned by Ken Oforiatta. So Ken Oforiatta and Charles Edubuahin have contracted their own companies to be their transaction advisors in order for us to borrow money. What it technically means is that they have also determined how much they will pay themselves, because the Ministry of Finance fixes the rate at which these entities are paid. I am calling on them as a matter of conscience to withdraw those companies immediately. And for Charles Edubuahin, who is due for vetting tomorrow, to do the honorable thing and withdraw Black Star Brokerage before tomorrow. I want to assure them that this particular activity, I will not relent on it. I'm going to the extent of petitioning the IMF, the World Bank. I will petition the international investor community, and I will petition SRAJ to look into this. I will make their issuance of bonds a murky business in 2021. Because we cannot be suffering from the challenges that we have. Children just return from school after only 39 days in school to come and spend 3 months at home, because we just don't have money to make facilities available for them to learn together. As we speak today, basic schools have had to run one of the most ridiculous programs. A semester that we all know to be about 16 weeks, even by adults, is now being run from January to June by little children. And the worst of it is that these children, after 6 months in classroom, are going home without writing exams because government can't even pay for paper to print questions for them to write. This is the challenge we have in our country. And you have the Minister for Finance and Charles Edubuahin thinking that they must borrow for Ghana whether we need it or not because their companies benefit directly. This is the lowest standard of fiduciary that I've ever seen. And it must stop.
Aban enna masoe ehwe akwansa ho nsem eso Ministry of Tourism Afia Arts and Culture edwinie ene Ghana Tourism Authority so ada tourism dwumedie bi dia eho ka esom 100 million ebeboa ama yakwansa ho nsem akoyie wo memu.
Domestic and regional tourism program no eyento aba asuya omohwe akwansra mamre ene adwindie so ebo ye mantam awodronim na baabia akwansra wono yatimi ehuni ada no wadi na sika aban atwa ede amadwumedie no eye Ghana sika wo free bi opepim wo ha eye 100 million Ghana cedis bosumidun wotwe 18 months ne 24 ede bo entwei omo ada adwumedie na di ewo enkran na oswafo na hwe amnone ensem so onumunyafo sheli ayekobotwe ekasa Magana Mampenyi na sei enwa kasaye.
Government through the Ministry of Finance has made additional budgetary allocation of 100 million cedis to the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture to carry out its planned programs. The amount will help to address key constraints such as the sector operators' skills revitalization, low quality of tourism assets, targeted transformation of Ghana's tourist beaches, a comprehensive marketing brand and promotion strategy, and reducing other high costs of doing business in the sector.
Oswafo hwe akwansra amamre eni adwindie so onumunyafo Mohammed Awa onsoso nsama wode tu adwani.
But we're launching this domestic regional tourism as another step in our tourism development. Over-reliance on international tourism arrivals has been affected by the COVID-19, as mentioned by in the President's message, from a figure of 1.1 million people to less than 300,000 from 2019 to 2020 because of COVID. It's not acceptable. We can't continue to rely on foreign arrivals. Therefore, we are launching this program to encourage our people in Ghana to go around the country and visit places. When you do domestic tourism, people get to know each other. They got to know around the country and respect each other's cultures and values. And that brings national unity and cohesion. And that's what we need to do to develop. Also, Ghana is the most peaceful country in West Africa. Yet we are the third in terms of tourism arrivals. We want to move from number 3 to number 1. Gambia and Senegal are first and second. We think with our access, tourism access and our peace and our good leadership, Ghana should take the lead in tourism attraction in West Africa. From there, we move to Africa.
Ghana Tourism Authority kwanche for penny Orokosi Ajeman ensu cheche ensemu sei
100 million no Ghana Cares program Obantapa program Minister of Finance at the two abonte no tourism ye chefa enya wo any 100 million so 100 million e be call into tourist asset development e be call into marketing and promotion and more importantly said the betre amount for tourism skills development dudu na akase Ghana there nipa yehu anije yehu jo na so ba service standards na from kakra ti ye pese page service standards ni mu na ba na market na ye francophone for twa yehu ahia kwa be ne betumi about the in francophone countries Cote d'Ivoire, Togo, Benin, Burkina Faso no mo so ba Ghana memu na numbers no akosro ti sa de money nyina 100 million na we there yen any tour operators yen any hoteliers yen any gat off yen any car rental for any ya kan bom any this ade atofom
ye to ka se bono so na ye ko apomudin aso ye so afoda ye man apomudin aso ye na no enonyamfo kwaku agima menu enem na se bedwam ode nsemi tuja ne nyina ne se La General Hospital bepim sabra ye kan wo mu ensinwie wo mu nyase wo hyase mpo so mesi na no no bisa se abdan na ka chiri sa na chechemo de ma ye ne se asase ne asaseban a asunye pa de ho behia se ye de tape etoto ho de ho bebi asase ne be fa hia ho de se fa so se de be ya si ye sida no a ebesi ne prekope afi COVID-19 ye ba ye no eno so kan bi na adani si aka chiri sa
Onimonyafo kwekwa ajima menu ya pomodin swafo ebro ko Ghana mrashibedwafie no enna la de koto pom mrashibedwani ebisa no sedaban enna la General Hospital na aban adwure guno be hyase asi enna wo kire se omunya abotre ma aban no enchekura contractor fo be hyase aye adwuma na sa wo twi ahoma free su na se ma na chese bibi kitem aban guso atutu ne maba ko mienu bi esipe contractor fo be baso aba be ye adwuma ombeti omu se free na chese omu awie kura oswafo ne kire se Old Hospital no mudwiri no a expert and asset midifone to abanefo emanu ejuriguye.
Mr. Speaker, the little problem we have in the ministry is the fact that the contractor is insisting that not until Sandwich issues the insurance cover, they cannot move to site. And therefore, Finance Ministry has been informed, they are engaging, and the indication is that that problem will soon be resolved. And since the ministry does not control that activity, it will be difficult for me to give a very specific point in time. All I can say is that it will be very soon. The likely unforeseen challenges we might have faced if the building had come down itself. I visited that place on 2 different occasions. Earlier when I joined the ministry, there was some structural integrity report recommending that the place be demolished. They didn't even add that we should get an alternate facility before we even demolish. They were recommending demolition to save lives. I went there to see the place. We sent in some other consultants. And if you had gone to see what it was like, people sitting in the building and some parts of the walls on the upper floors falling down on them with exposed iron rods that were rotten inside the concrete cement that was used to do the building. So we didn't have options. But we made arrangements. There are people in the area can visit Lekma and Race hospitals. We did engagement with the community and they agreed. So some staff that were sitting in that facility were actually added on to Lekma and Race because we're expecting that attendance in these 2 facilities because of the demolition will increase. That is the arrangements that we actually made to make sure that this will be there. But let me be very honest with you, Mr. Speaker. We never anticipated that this delay will be this much. That is what has caused us this problem. I believe soon, when this thing is done, the Sanu Show, that's the thing, work will continue. We'll start and finish without stoppages in course of the period.
Principal Revenue Officer Odini Juma, Ghana Revenue Authority, Ura Lawrence Ochonyame, what the ato ahoho omsem ewobie, no mukita sika investors, person baby nyuma Ghana has say, bia baako onfu ani enko, eno eyekuayo.
Wano mudijwa efape mango kube ene niema ahodoɔ te se enuaba no emfinhie du 10 years ena aban ede amomu so muntu ato yesi eye tax holiday ena wɔn mu eton niema bi efa afuomu niema ho broni beka se agro no eno so emfinhie mu 5 years ena muntu ato ekɔ ede magana fo ene ahoho ni nyina we eye kwan a aban no efa so beboa ama enkrofo du mu dwetia behye Ghana sikasemu na ama Ghana de hye no enye adwuma aye. Principal Revenue Officer ede ama Ghana Revenue Authority Ora Lawrence na di ensem wetu centralfo anim ebra GIPC fo eye dwumadi e for man Ghana sikasam totoye eho
agro processing sector mo a omo process raw materials into finished goods omo so more 5 years tax holiday or be a person here whether you are a Ghanaian or you are a foreigner and you want to invest in Ghana you have a 5-year tax holiday period who are into agro processing for the investors no. One of the things now FSC encourage you say you come waste management of waste and the biggest problem. Inti omo foreign investors omo invest Ghana has no. Omo 7 years tax holiday on waste processing. We be processing waste and now be recycle waste recycling no. Omo 7 years tax holiday to encourage more of those people to come and invest in our waste processing sector.
Adishima Madaroma, Mama Yakwaji Abwafon Krato, Yaba Yakasi Bono, Yabetuaso.